Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Planetcast. I'm James with FPSGeneral, and I'm here with Sardis and Cryo. Sardis, why don't you say hello to the people?
How's it going?
So tell them what you're all about.
Well, my name's Sardis. I'm the outfit leader at TRG. It's a TR outfit on Planetside. We've been around since May 2003, so that's been about 9 years now. I'm 27 years old, and I play Planetside.
Jesus, man, 9 years. I didn't even...
Yeah.
I guess it has been about that long since the original launch, huh?
Yeah, it's coming up on 10 this May, so yeah, it's been a long time since the original came out.
All right, and on the flip side, we have Cryo from...
I'm Cryo. I'm a veteran of Azure Twilight. I've been playing Planetside 1 since beta. Been playing Planetside 2 since tech test. Big Planetside fan. I recently attended SOE Live, met all these fine people. And I'm 24 years old. I make YouTube videos and stream a little bit. Cryosyn TV /YouTube/Cryosyn TV.
All right, so I guess the first thing we're going to do is user-submitted questions. And I'll be honest, we don't have a huge audience yet because this is our first episode. So maybe some of these might be, I don't know, they might be from friends. But anyway, the first one is from somebody named Xavier. He says, "Dear FPSGeneral, do you ever get that double stream when you pee?" And it's funny because he asked that because, yes, I just did, just now. And I got some all over my leg. Okay, so obviously very relevant. But moving on, somebody named Mookers says, "I feel like combat within the Biodome is radically different from combat in other areas of the game. Your thoughts?"
It is definitely radically different. I mean, the tech facilities and the amp stations, they're all kind of similar. You know, you get the vehicle and infantry combat. They're great. I think they're very well balanced. The Biolab is kind of an experiment of its own. It's definitely one of the better places to fight if you want to just go and kill other softies and have just a hell of a time shooting at each other. Right now, it's got some issues, though, with the way people are trying to get up top, you know, teleporters and the jump.
It's definitely like infantry heaven, but at the same time, it can be infantry hell, depending on
exactly. It could go either way. It depends on how it's set up. You know, right now, it just is missing that flow of combat.
The next question, which is about weapons lock, which Sardis has a lot of experience with, or at least a profound amount from the tournament, and that's from Ginger Dave 88, and he says, "Do you think that weapons lock is a good solution for griefing?"
Weapon lock is definitely needed. I was in the tech test when there wasn't a weapon lock, and it was grief central in the warp gate where people were driving around just running people over nonstop. I do think that the current system punishes you not very well. You're definitely getting locked for things that shouldn't happen. Like if you throw a grenade and a teammate runs in and he's in your platoon, you're still getting weapon locked. Where Planetside 1, you didn't get weapon locked for that.
It's interesting. I mean, for the people that are not aware, I was at the tournament at SOE Live and I got second place, and I got the weapons locked when I was there. And, you know, it was well deserved. I mean, it's part of the game. But at the time, there was an issue where if you pulled the vehicle and it spawned and there's somebody standing on the pad, you killed them and you got grief for it. And I think that's what led to me getting weapons locked in the tournament. Now, that said, I think grief is actually definitely needed, weapons lock especially. I just think, like Carlson said, you know, when you kill your own squad mate or platoon mate, just like Planetside 1, maybe that code's just not in the game yet, but you shouldn't get grief for hitting your own, especially if they're in your outfit and you know them. You know, it's like, dude, it's okay. You know?
I also just want to mention that we have the Mag Rider and the Lasher on the VS side, which are grief lock machines.
Grief machines, yeah.
Let's talk about SOE Live. We all went, even though I didn't get introduced to Cryosyn until afterwards, which is weird. And I guess we were at the same karaoke bar the last night, and there were like 20 people in it, and I still didn't meet him. So I feel shitty about that. But overall, I'd say it was a really fun event. There were definitely some Planetside guys. TRG was there, and as a result, recruited me from their awesome demeanor. And there were some DVS guys there. There were a couple DD, Devil Dog, and then how many Azure Twilight were there?
I met up with two other people. A third person was supposed to be there, but he couldn't show up.
Right, because he's a Vanu Flake. I got it. No,
we turned him on your ass. He used to be a Vanu.
I used to. Let's talk about our experiences. Sardis, why don't you start us out? What was your most memorable experience? Obviously, placing second in the tournament had to be up there, but let's talk about social, silly things. What do you think?
Oh man, that was a blast. The whole weekend was just a blast. I don't think I was sober the entire weekend, but I think the most memorable thing is I never met these TRG guys before. These guys I've known for 9 years.
Seriously, that is so cool.
Yeah, seriously. It's the first time we've actually got together. We've been talking about it for a while, and we're kind of like thinking we should have a meetup, a barbecue or something. We couldn't decide on anything. And then one guy's like, why don't we just go to SOE Live and just do it? So we all bought tickets and just went, and it was great. There's about 10 of us there.
That's amazingly awesome. I have a Ventral that I've been on for about 5 or 6 years, and I'd love to do that with those guys as well. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. I thought you guys like went every year or something.
No, first time. So we plan on doing it again next year.
You guys were all, you seemed like you had been friends for a decade, but I don't know.
Never met each other face to face.
One of the first things you learn when one of the first experiences you have when you're like a serious gamer and you're in these big social games like WoW or Planetside or anything that's an MMO, or if you're just playing with a group of friends and you meet them through the internet, meeting them face to face is awesome, but it's also kind of a shit shoot. Sometimes, like, you can get one person who's like really loud and hilarious on Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, and then he's like super introverted when you meet him or something.
I suppose that's true. But one thing that's funny is when we all got together and all like, we're trying to learn each other's real names, and we're like, fuck this shit. We're gonna go and just call each other. Yeah,
I'm not gonna start calling people real names. I know you as
so. We called each other by our online names. It's just what we all know each other by. You hear that voice coming from that person. You know who that person is. You've talked to him for 10 years. But you're not going to try to learn his other name. You're going to call him by what he is.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I met my most recent girlfriend from playing Left 4 Dead, which gives you an idea of how long I've been without a girlfriend. But it was weird. It was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life meeting her for the first time, because it was like, you're nervous and a little bit anxious and you don't really know if you're going to hit it off, but like deep down you definitely do, because you've been talking nonstop on Ventrilo for 4 years. But have you ever had an experience like that, Cryo, with the Azure Twilight guys?
I did meet Matthew Peters at the SOE Community Day, and that was kind of cool because he was another vet in Azure Twilight. A lot of the guys that I met at SOE Live we're a huge outfit, right? So it's kind of hard to know everyone exactly. So I kind of got to meet them and remember them after that experience.
So what was the most fun you had? Was it the karaoke bar? Because if it was, I wouldn't blame you. That was pretty fun.
Karaoke bar definitely was up there. The pool party was pretty awesome. Open bar. That's all.
Did you see me at the pool party?
I did. I don't remember much from the pool party.
It's just so people realize too, like when you look in the photos and stuff and you see all those beach balls in the pool, they all said TRG on them. We actually went.
Seriously, I didn't know that, man.
We actually went. One of our guys knows somebody that works for a company that makes stuff like that, and so we had mouse pads, all kinds of cool shit made. And one of the things we had was, the beach ball thing, and we got photos, which I'll have to link to you one of these days, of the hotel room filled up to freaking waist height with these beach
That's
balls.
amazing, man.
And we put them all in trash bags, and we walk up there, and we're thinking they're never going to let us in. They're never going to let us in to pull these things, right? Little did we realize that SOE had done the same thing. They made the same size beach balls, but they were blue, and they said SOE on them, right?
That's amazing, dude.
So they thought we were just bringing more SOE balls, right?
Brilliant.
So we're like, all right. So we just walk up and dump them all in there. They thought they got a real good.
We're gonna have to outdo. I guess I can say this, ourselves next time, and do something crazy. But you should have put some in the hot tub, dude. That actual pool was frigid. I don't know how people were swimming in there. I jumped in there, and I felt like I got hypothermia.
I saw that clip where you said I'm sober and jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
Were you sober?
Can I tell you a secret?
Maybe.
No, he wasn't. I don't think anybody was sober.
No, nobody's sober at that. I went up to Matt, and
it was an open
funny.
bar. Open bar. Okay, yeah. I think SOE lost money that night.
Dude, I think they lose money every time they do one of those things. However, I will say that I know I haven't been to an SOE Live before, but I'm pretty sure Planetside is going to blow up to the point where it's going to be primarily a Planetside event and not as much an EverQuest event.
There is a big talk going around right now among certain circles that they're going to split it up possibly if they get enough people.
The EverQuest people were kind of hating on us. Did you notice that?
Well, it's kind of a friendly rivalry. They used to be the biggest, most popular MMO out there. You got to give them credit. But totally different archetype, different person, okay? So you take a bunch of EverQuest nerds, you put a bunch of Planetside nerds. don't mix very well.
No, they really
don't. They might separate it, at least maybe have different keynotes, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, when I was at the keynotes and stuff like that, like you could hear like the people who came for Planetside were sitting kind of in the forward, kind of close to the stage to the left. And then everybody else was like EverQuest. So every time there was like an awesome Planetside announcement, like the launch date, for instance, the rest of the room was just silent. Meanwhile, like this one corner was going apeshit bananas crazy.
There's a story behind that too. Smed actually came by and told us, listen, guys, I'm releasing this game soon. You better fucking make this good.
Dude, I love how like down to earth they are. It's amazing.
Did you notice that next day none of us had a voice? I mean, we're in the
dude.
tournament.
Oh my god! For a week, I literally couldn't talk. Like I got up there to sing and fail, and that was like the last of my voice. It was gone after.
Yeah.
that.
Note to self: never get a bunch of computer nerds to try to keep a beat with you. That was a bad idea.
It's funny because I may or may not be in the process of making a faction song 2 that may or may not be a rap song, and I may or may not have Higby and T-Ray in it. But that's all unconfirmed. Ramicola may or may not be making but that's all unconfirmed, and that's totally. I'm gonna have to edit that out. No, I won't. I'll keep it in.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right, so oh god, what was the best part? Did you guys see that guy? He had like a Star Wars car, and he dressed up like Obi-Wan.
Oh, that guy? Yeah.
That guy was the shit. That guy was awesome.
I got to be frank, though. I think the best point for me was the tournament. I mean, that was just so much fun.
That was awesome, dude. Yeah, you were kicking ass.
Oh, I had that 33 kill streak, and people were just screaming. I'm like, wow, that's
people went
cool.
crazy at the end of that when you died. That was insane.
Yeah, the Twitch channel I think was like 3rd on Twitch TV when they were streaming it.
That's awesome.
One thing I really regret is I never got to read, what was going on that channel. I have no idea what happened the entire time I was playing.
All right, well, let's talk about patch notes. And obviously, the biggest thing happening is the third continent of Amerish is available. It's been out for, well, I guess it's been out for about 12 hours now, but it's only been up for a matter of hours at the time of this recording. I was able to jump in and play for about an hour, and I have to say my first impression of it was very strong. Sardis, I know you didn't get in, but what about you, Cryo? What do you think?
Yeah, I got to play maybe 30, 40 minutes of it, and it looks incredible. I turned all my graphics up just to try it out, and it looks way better than the other continents, I'd have to say, and I love it.
Yeah, it felt pretty sick. I like the verticality of it. Being a light assault there is pretty advantageous because there's a lot of things happening vertically as opposed to just a horizontal flat space. And air feels really prevalent there. I was seeing a lot more air, but that could be due to some of the later patch notes, which we'll cover.
I hear there's a lot of cover for infantry. Is that true?
Yeah, there's a ton of cover. Even on the pads now. I don't know if that's that might be in every continent, but they added a bunch of cover in the pads for the Biodome, which is actually...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's much better for people who are assaulting. Still a choke point for sure, but they can definitely grab some cover.
Well, that's great. I like that idea.
All right, so after that, we've got Painfields are functional. They're not falling through the floor anymore, which sucks. And I was talking to somebody in TRG the other day, and I said I wanted to be able to cert into being a Painfield because I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Apparently, for a while, the reason why they had issues is that, from what I heard, is the Painfields were player entities that you just couldn't see, and eventually they lag out and fall to the ground to kill everybody downstairs. So
that's what Higby logs in as when he's feeling like a little bit vengeful.
Trollish.
Yeah, he's not too thrilled with the community. They're complaining a lot, and he just wants to take it out.
Yeah, badly needed, though. I'm glad they put them in. That was really nasty. People would sit in those spawn rooms and camp after the basement flip, and it was a pain in the ass to get them out. I mean, it was kind of fun at first and funny, but it got old real quick. I'm glad they put that in.
All right, so respawn timer has been increased by 4 seconds. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're in Biolab or when you're dying, pretty much, which you will be, it kind of adds up, and it definitely feels like a pretty big increase, even though it's only 4 seconds.
One thing I was really hoping they'd put in is originally on Planetside 1, your spawn timer would get longer the quicker you died, so it would encourage you to try to stay alive longer. I would think they'd want to put something like that in this game.
Right.
But so far they haven't. It's just one set timer for no matter what you do.
Right.
It was a needed change because you would get in a close-knit fight like a biolab and people you'd kill would spawn like 5 seconds later, and it's like you felt like you weren't going anywhere.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? Do you think that they should have like diminishing returns on respawn times?
I think they should, but not as bad as Planetside 1, because sometimes you would have to wait like a minute to get respawn.
Seriously, it would get to 45 seconds or longer sometimes. Right. But I think it's necessary, but maybe not quite as long.
Even if it's like 20 seconds, I mean, that's still...
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, I'm talking about like 3, 5, 7, maybe 10 seconds. If you're really getting killed a lot, that's probably the most I do.
All right. So we got some bug fixes, but, you know, I hate to rag on SOE, not that I'm doing that, but a lot of these just... There's a lot of new content this patch, and there's a lot of really cool changes, but bug fixing did not seem like a major focus. The big bugs that I am concerned about is the heavy assault and that, you know, like throwing grenades and having them stick to your hand, and the first rocket out of your rocket launcher doesn't do any damage. That kind of stuff still seems to be in from what I could tell in my hour of play. And obviously it's beta, so we're just going to skip past that kind of stuff. So I guess probably one of the larger balance changes going on this patch was the nerfing of AA and the buffing of air, which is sweet because I love planes. And also AA was pretty horrendously overpowered. What did you think, Cryo? Did you think it was overpowered last patch?
Well, the first 10 minutes into Amarish, all I saw was like 100 Reavers in the sky.
That's true. I saw those. I was killing a couple, but I saw them as well.
Yeah, I just hopped in an AA turret to try to take him out, and I definitely felt the difference. They've been kind of pendulum swinging the AA since tech test, so it was overpowered, underpowered, overpowered, underpowered, and I think now they're still kind of underpowered. So
it's underpowered again?
Yeah, not as bad as initially. Like initially, you would have to have like 5 anti-air maxes to kill one Reaver.
I would have to agree that AA was a little too strong before. And one thing that Planetside kind of had, which hasn't really been too often here, or seen too often here, is in Planetside 1, aircraft there was a battle way up high, and there was a battle way low. And the AA only really contributed to the low stuff, and then all the aircraft way up high would be killing each other. Mm-hmm. Now, AA is, I don't know where it's at right now, I haven't played the test, but one thing I really would like to see is more air versus air combat. Don't see a whole lot of that.
There's a lot this patch. In fact, I wasn't getting killed by any AA. I had to swap out for flares because I was getting a ton of air-to-air lock-ons happening. Maybe it's just because there were a bunch of Reavers, but yeah, it's definitely a lot of air-to-air.
Well, it's got to find a balance somewhere because nobody likes getting instigated by Reaver rocket pods all the time and having no way to fight back.
Yeah, totally.
So at least when you're dealing with tanks, your heavy assault, you can go around behind it, shoot a rocket at it. When you're dealing with aircraft, it's like you don't even know you're getting shot, and by the time you look up, you're dead.
Right.
Actually, they nerfed the air-to-ground rockets pretty hard.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they still own you if you're out in the open, but I think they're...
Well, if they put a whole bloody clip in you and take the time, yeah, they should definitely get the kill.
I think it was two clips to kill Mag Rider, maybe I missed a couple, but it definitely wasn't like one clip to finish off a tank.
What about softies? I mean, in Planetside 1, it took a full Reaver clip to kill a softie, and that was about right.
No, it probably takes 4 or 5. I'd say it takes about a quarter to half of a clip, but they all have to hit. But it seems like I'm getting through the majority of my clip because
you're missing a lot too.
If he's standing still, then yeah, he's dead. But
well, that's a good question. How is the grounder AA rocket launcher for the heavy assaults now? Anybody use that?
I haven't used it, but I've been hit by it, and it hurts, but you can flare, and that takes care of it pretty easily.
Yeah, the flares are there too.
You cannot shake that thing. That thing is impossible to shake.
Yeah.
I swear, like, I wish I had a camera that looked behind me, because I've gone behind, like, biolabs and stuff. And I've gone, like, behind walls, like, where I'm like, there's no way it's going to make a 90-degree turn, and I still get hit by it.
Well, they made mention a long time ago that they wanted to make it a decision. You can either have an ejection seat or a flare, right? So you had to make that decision, because the flare really means something.
Yeah, the flare's huge, and I think the flare is probably the best unlock for that specific, what is that, the utility? I know there's a fire extinguisher there, but I think it seems like when I'm getting hit by flak or machine gun fire, unless he's right on me, I can usually get away from it. But if I get a lock on and I don't flare, then it's a huge... I have to land pretty much. I'm either going to land or I'm going to die.
Well, that's good. Yeah, but definitely A was a little too strong last patch. Let's see how it works out this patch. I just want to see more air-to-air combat and hopefully avoid just, infantry getting farmed by rocket pods. Nobody likes that.
All right, so they made a lot of weapon changes. They buffed the Carve a little bit, nerfed the NC weapons, which they definitely needed to, and they buffed the VS range. So, Cryo, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it feels like the Vanu weapons are much better at longer ranges, which we needed pretty badly. The old balance seemed like they were trying to go for, we had really good hip fire and really bad long range combat, and it didn't really work because any long range combat we would get destroyed by the other factions. So now it feels a lot more balanced and a lot more in line, and the recoil overall feels a lot less.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, being a heavy assault, all I do is pretty much on foot kill whoring, and the Vanu needed a buff bad. I mean, it's just night and day. I go up against a Vanu player, and it's an easy win. I go up against an NC player, and it was a hell of a challenge. So, yeah, the Vanu definitely needed some love.
For the carve, they reduced the horizontal recoil. So, and in fact, I have the foregrip on there, and I was shooting, and it's just like a vertical line of bullets. There's almost no jittering.
Well, if you got that forward grip on it, you won't have any horizontal at all. That's what that thing does.
Right.
You take it off and test it and see how it is. Apparently, that horizontal sway got nerfed, or buffed, I should say. The TR got a lot of different changes. They've got some weapons that got nerfed and some weapons that got buffed. The TR seemed like they're in the middle, and they were pretty much good where they were. So they made some minor tweaks to them. There weren't too many major changes to them. It seems like the TR are kind of where they need to be, and the Vanu need to come up to that level, and the NC kind of need to come down just a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like NC are still pretty powerful at range. I noticed last patch that I definitely had an advantage at range, but this one I was just getting pegged left and right, pretty far away from like medics and stuff.
Their weapons as a whole felt pretty good at range even before. I haven't tried the new patch, but like the heavy assault, you could easily pick someone off from long range compared to the other factions as an NC.
Right.
Just taking a look at all of their patch notes, it looks like the majority of their weapons received a recoil nerf, and that probably was the issue. I mean, they were sniping you from across the map pretty, effectively with like even the heavy machine guns and stuff.
Yeah, like the heavy assault for the other factions was not as accurate as the NC.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially some of their carbines too. Like that mercenary carbine, that thing was just devastating. That thing got a little bit of a nerf as well. It wasn't so much the damage, it was the fact that they were so bloody accurate, and then they have, for some reason, the NC weapons do the most damage per shot, so they cause the most neck jerk whenever you get hit. So it kind of compounded the problem where they're more accurate, and they're making you so inaccurate you can't compete. So a lot of players were putting on the forward grips on their weapons to reduce that kind of neck jerk,
And now take everything you said and double the recoil, and that's what it was like playing Vanu against NC.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Have they... I mean, I heard through the grapevine that the Gauss saw was supposed to have a 50-round magazine. Have they made that? I'm trying to look through and see.
I thought it did.
This looks like they lowered the rate of fire.
Yeah, it still has 100. That's a little... I mean, yeah, the rate of fire is pretty slow on it, so maybe it's not that bad. But anyway, the other big change that happened was Maxes got buffed, and they definitely needed it. I was almost 1v1ing Maxes successfully every time.
I'm not sure what they did. I thought it was a bug or something, but it used to have 2 health bars, right? The Max?
Yeah, right. And
they had like a shield, and the shield didn't do crap, so I don't know what they changed.
Yeah, it was weird. I've shot Maxes and seen the shield animation. It must just be a bug. They buffed kinetic armor for the Max. However, a lot of people are saying they still can't equip it, so it's not the best change.
In the new patch, right?
Yeah, in the new patch. So some other cool stuff they did was they added a deploy animation for the Sunder. It almost looks like the Prowler deploy animation. It's got like these little support beams coming out of it. It's really cool looking, and it's a really nice change actually because you can see who's deployed and who's not. The doors open and stuff, and you can...
That's cool.
I don't know, I like it. But that being said, you can't deploy close to another deployed Sunderer, so it's a little bit... I don't really like that change. I feel like that kind of hurts outfit play, because if you have another outfit whose Sunderer is deployed, then yours isn't really as vital.
Yeah, actually, that was a big problem in Planetside 1. I mean, let's say you're doing ops as a group, and then you show up at a base, and you need to put an AMS somewhere in a particular spot to make your strategy work, and you can't because somebody else has got one nearby. Now, I haven't played yet. How big is that radius? Is it huge or small?
I don't know. All I know is that Mook was really complaining about it, so maybe, who knows?
They might want to look into it before release. I can understand why they did it, but if they make that radius too big, it's really going to screw up a lot of good stuff.
There were some issues with people just stacking Sunderers across the map, so I can see why.
Oh, yeah. Some towers, there would literally be 30 deployed AMSs out front of it.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
But then again, if you have that many AMSs, you're already winning the battle anyway. So what difference does it make?
And And then another thing was they changed up spawn beacons quite a bit. I think they're just a squad leader ability now. They don't cost anything. What do you guys think about that? I never really used them just because I wasn't really in a squad leader position and I didn't cert into it, but
I think that's pretty cool. It encourages people to use them more, and you can put more. Right now the most underappreciated cert tree is the squad leader stuff, and it needs some more love. And that was a good move towards getting people to kind of invest in it more, because I guess putting more points into your cert tree for squad leader allows you to reduce that timer, so you can redeploy that beacon more often. Now you don't have to go spend resources and worry about restocking it all the time, which was annoying. You just go and do it. You find a good spot, you want people to spawn with you just slap it down.
Yeah, it fixed two issues. The first issue was that anyone could get the squad beacon. So you'd have like a squad full of squad beacons and everyone would drop them and you'd always have a second respawn. Now you need a specific person, which is a lot better. And the other big issue was that like if you're light assault and you want C4, you can't have it because you have a squad beacon. And squad beacons were just so good that usually people gave up on C4 if they were in a group up squad.
let's talk about the free-to-play model briefly, because I had a little epiphany the other day. So let's equate like a gun, say the MCG, mini chain gun, to a hero in League of Legends, right? You pay for it once, you've got it for the rest of the game. So are they going to continuously have to introduce guns and vehicle weapons and things like that? Because to be honest, I don't know how many people are going to be spending a ton of money. I mean, I think my plan and everybody else's plan at release is to unlock the weapons and vehicle weapons and stuff like that with station cash, and then use certs to like further my character, like nanoweave armor, things like that, because you can't use station cash to buy those.
Well, I feel you there, dude. I am concerned about that too. I mean, let's face it, you're going to buy what you like, buy what you want, and that's it. You're done. You're never going to buy anything again. What they need to do is make sure that membership actually has some, a viable focus. You want to encourage people to buy the membership plans, because that's going to keep breaking you in money.
Yeah, the membership feels like their big focus, because you get station cash for just being a member. And I think a lot of it too is you're going to get more cert points by being a member. I also have to say the camo. Have you guys seen the camo?
Yeah, I've seen
some. Yeah, it's badass. Yeah, I've heard some really good things about it. Yeah,
I'll definitely spend money on it. Maybe if they come out with one that's really cool, or like, I think they can probably do a lot with the armor, to be honest. But still, another issue that I have, and this is just me personally, but I kind of have an issue with how the Carve and the Carve S, even though it's just a select fire, they look the same. And that's a poor example because it's meant to be a variant, like you're not supposed to really see the difference. But that being said, I think one of the strengths of Call of Duty and persistent unlockables and stuff like that is that you're seeing an aesthetic difference. And even if the performance is kind of relatively similar, you feel like you're using a very different gun. And I know that's pretty resource intensive to make all those guns, but I think it's really important for purchasing.
I think that's coming. I mean, when they release this game, like you said, they're going to have to keep bringing out the new toys, otherwise nobody's going to buy stuff again. That, to me, seems like later.
They hopefully just keep adding weapons and making them more varied, because right now it is kind of homogenized for all the factions. So,
yeah. Well, did you guys see how many different weapons they had in tech test that they were thinking about putting in the game? It's shrunk a lot since then, because they're trying to get the game out for release. But there was like 10 different shotguns, 10 different cyclers. They all look the same, but they want to try to put in a lot of different things.
Well, I'm sure a lot of those have to be placeholders or something. But the other thing that I would do, like for instance, this is going to sound traitorous now that I'm playing TR, but when I was playing VS, I really loved the look of the Pulsar in the first game.
Traitor.
And then they came out with the new Pulsar. It looks really nice, but it's like changing the assault rifle in Halo. I like the old one, and so like buying that as a skin, I would spend money on that. I would spend money on skins.
That's a great idea too, skins as well. I mean, look at games like Borderlands. A lot of people love the feel. Like, I got this badass gun. It's slightly different. It's got like a 9-round clip as opposed to like let's say something like a 50-round clip as opposed to like a 10-round clip. But actually, the clip looks different. Instead of having just like a normal clip, it's a belt-fed machine gun. Little things like that are easy to put in that make a difference.
Have you guys ever changed your models in Counter-Strike?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, way back.
FPS Banana. Yeah, like 2004. Yeah. That was like one of my home pages.
I'm thinking they should do that for Planetside too. Just add custom models to players and weapons.
Well, they mentioned it, SOE, they're going to have, what's it called, the player-made stuff. That could be it right there.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of like a Steam Workshop scenario.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like you said before, there's only so much people are going to buy of actual items before they find the stuff they like. They need to focus on membership stuff. They want to encourage people to pay per month, and keep that going.
Yeah, but they also can't deprive the free-to-play experience because that's pretty important.
Exactly. I think that's what they're shooting for. They want people to play for free, and those people will probably still buy a few things, but they still want to try to get as many members as possible because that's where they make their meat and potatoes is right there.
All right, so let's talk about, I want to have a brief discussion about heavy weapons. The Higby said in one of his streams recently that there are changes coming to heavy weapons, the Lasher, the mini chain gun, and then the jackhammer. I would assume buffs, and I know that it's a fine line because I know the unlocks are supposed to be side grades. And how do you have a side grade from, a standard LMG to a mini chain gun? Like, you're going to assume it's going to be more powerful, right?
It's pretty simple the way I see it. Right now they suck, right?
Yeah.
And they need to be, like you said, an investment, right? So you're going to get something that's way better than the normal LMG, but what's the detriment? You can't bring a rocket launcher. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of something like that too.
I would agree with that. I think it falls into the realm of side grades. Or it could just be super powerful at close range, which, to be honest, it really isn't. The Lasher's broken.
No, they're very weak. They all suck. The Lasher sucks the most. The MCG's okay.
Yeah, the MCG's barely viable. I see a lot of people using it. I don't see a lot of people using the jackhammer.
They need to be like an investment, I want to be that heavy assault. I'm going to kill nothing but infantry, but I don't have a rocket launcher. So
yeah, I think that's an awesome idea, personally.
Because now all of a sudden I can't kill vehicles. I'm very good at killing infantry. So there you go. There's your side grade balance.
I was also thinking something like that would work if they wanted to add the Lancer back in. They could make it really good against infantry and vehicles, but you don't get any other weapon.
See, that's another great idea. The whole heavy assault tree can be. You ever play games like Warhammer? You think these figurines that have these gigantic guns, right? You can have a heavy assault anti-vehicle. You can have a heavy assault anti-air. It's but that's the max too. So you don't want to get too far into that because you're taking stuff away from the max, For starters, though, I think that if they made the heavy assault weapons stronger than the LMGs, not a lot, but just a little bit, it's an investment. And then take away the rocket launcher and just give them the pistol, that's it.
I think they should be drastically different, personally. I think that they should be drastically better at close range, or obviously the Lasher, the jackhammer, and the mini chain gun are all close range weapons. So I think that they should be completely dominating biodome fights, but have an obvious disadvantage at range because you can't even really scope down them very well.
I agree. Yeah, they shouldn't even have the look down the sight right now.
Yeah.
The Lasher doesn't even have a range. It has a little beam and then it cuts off.
I'm really disappointed in the Lasher, the Ghostbuster gun. It looks like crap. The heavy assault weapons, they're obviously not done. I hope they improve them. The jackhammer, it looks good, but it doesn't feel like the old jackhammer. It's not this big gun that has a gigantic jump every time you fire,
Right.
And the Lasher's not, not that scary. It looks like a light bulb. And then the MCG it's not underslung like the old one. It just looks kind of funky.
I actually really like the new shoulder, but that's just me. That's just a personal thing. I could see how people would be pissed off.
Maybe called me old school, but I like the underslung one. I understand why they don't have it the underslung because it's one gun that would have its own animation,
right?
Opposed to all the other weapons.
But to be honest, they're going to have to start doing that. I mean, they can't fit everything into this shoulder fire stereotype or archetype, really.
That's true. I mean, think about this. What happened to the Thumper, the Rocklet, all those other weapons they had in PS1?
Yeah.
And they talked about bringing those back, too. And people don't know what those are. The Thumper was a grenade launcher.
Let's get some new weapons, too, man. I mean, I love bringing back Planetside 1 weapons, but it's new. It's a new game. I think there needs to be new things as well, All right, well, I think that about does it. I can't think of anything else to talk about. Well, I can, but I won't. But anyway, thank you for watching, and if you've made it this far, kudos to you, number one. And number two, check back next week because we're doing this on a weekly basis until we kill ourselves. And please send us some real questions so I don't have to make them up. Subscribe to FPSGeneral. Check out Cryo.
www.azuretwilight.org is my outfit, Azure Twilight.
And you guys are recruiting everybody?
Pretty much open recruitment. We have a ranking system, so if you're in the outfit, you're doing well, we like you, you'll get promoted. But we're pretty open. So
join TRG. What's our URL?
So my outfit is www.trggaming.net. We are age 18 plus. So keep that in mind, please. But beyond that, we're a very well organized outfit. We're large, just like AT is. Pretty much the 3 major outfits out there that I can think of: AT, Devil Dog, TRG, and there's some more other ones on the East Coast, of course, like Enclave and those guys, Storm Grenadier. So if you're looking for a good West Coast Vanu outfit, you guys are West Coast, Cryo, or East?
We're pretty open to everyone, so we're probably going to be on the East Coast server, but we haven't decided for sure. So whatever, if you like large organized Vanu sovereignty outfits, Azure Twilight's your choice to go.
And I'm going to throw a spot out too to the Devil Dog guys. Good NC outfits. So if you guys are looking for a well-organized, large outfit from the West Coast here, NC, Devil Dogs is where to go. So
right. And if you're playing NC2, uninstall.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. So also in the comments, guys, leave questions for Matt Higbee because I might be able to get them. No promises, but we'll see. Thank you for watching Planetcast. This has been James with FPSGeneral signing off.